help in your recovery time, and because you're never overtrained, you're always under recovered, meaning that we're capable of doing as much as we want, but if we are not taking care of our bodies properly, then we are going to break down. We are just like that vehicle. We have to oil and maintenance it and give it some love, not just drive the crap out of it, okay? So, what I want to show you is all right, so with the shoulders, like with the heavy upper body day, I like to make sure that I stretch out my shoulders really well. And why is because when we do a lot of upper body, we tend to roll our shoulders forward. It gets tighter in our chest. And also if we're sitting at a desk or we just are kind of lazy about our posture. So I want you to think about when you stand up nice and tall, pull those shoulders back, open the chest, and then tuck the belly. This is a really great, strong posture. So we want to make sure that we stretch these out as much as possible so it doesn't naturally, we don't have to fight against this quite as much. First thing I want to do is I'm going to get down on the floor. How many times do we get to do this, right? So arms out like you're flying, just like directly out from your shoulders. I'm going to bring the leg up and then over. And you're going to feel that stretch. Here, I'll go to the other side first. Up. And then over, right? You're gonna feel that stretch in that shoulder. You're gonna feel it in your chest. It's gonna be really, really great. Now you're also gonna feel it in the legs and even maybe the butt. So be as comfortable as you want. I like to put my head down because if I'm stretching and my head's up, it's gonna be a lot more strenuous. I'm not getting as much of a stretch as I want. I know this looks very awkward, but I promise you it's a really great stretch. It's basically, you can do the same thing on the wall. So if you have, the next one we'll do on the wall. If you have a wall, go up to it. Hands are gonna be directly out. This isn't a great option for me here. And then I'm gonna pull over. Notice my body position is the same as it was on the floor. I'm still getting that same great stretch. And then actually I can move it around a little bit more. So, keeping everything nice and strong, but relax those shoulders. Good, I like to stay in this position for about 30 to 45 seconds to give my body time to release. All right. Another one that I like a lot is, on the floor, it's real simple, is I'm gonna put my hands behind me, and then I'm gonna scoot my hips forward to where I can feel that stretch. I'm gonna make sure my hands are directly behind me, not out beside me, right? And then I'm gonna open that chest. And as I go through this, I'm gonna make sure that I relax. Breathe out and relax. Breathe in and stretch. Breathe out and stretch. And so you're opening your chest towards the sky. You should feel that all the way down across your chest, in your shoulders, in your biceps. It's fantastic. I'm gonna relax a little bit. And there we go. All right, slowly come out of this. Slowly, slowly, slowly. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get that tricep. Since we definitely worked that tricep, we stretched our chest a little bit, we stretched our shoulders and our biceps. We gotta get the tricep. So bring your hands all the way up overhead. Thank you for the workout. Give thanks to the world today. And bring that hand down behind your head. And then bring that other hand over on your elbow. Now, what I want you to do is pull that elbow up so you can go to where you're comfortable. And in the meantime, try not to crank your neck down. Try and keep that posture up. So keep your back nice and up. You should feel that in your tricep. Now what you can do is, if you want, you can increase this stretch by whatever hand. So my right arm is the one that is bent that I'm stretching currently. So I'm gonna expose my right rib cage towards the sky. just like that. I'm not gonna look down. I'm gonna, like as if I was against the wall, I'm gonna open that rib cage, keeping my head neutral, and you should feel that stretch all the way down your body. This is also a really good stretch when you've done obliques and back. So keep that head neutral, really. Now take a deep breath, come out of it a little bit, exhale and get into it even more. And switch. So arms up. I like to go into this very intentionally because if I just throw my arm over, I'm not really going through the full range of motion of my body. So I want to go to full range of motion of my body and go into the same way every single time so I know what to expect and I don't skip something and cause injury. So I'm going to pull that elbow in, neutral head. I'm going to sit here for a second because that's what I did last time. I'm going to let my body recognize what I'm doing and then I'm going to extend. Now, I'm not just leaning over to the other side. I'm actively pushing my rib cage out. Like I'm pushing it out to the other way, not just leaning over. I know it looks pretty much the same, but it's a much different feel and I'm still pulling that elbow in, increasing the stretch. And inhale, come out of it for a second, exhale, go right back into it, deeper. All right, let it go. Two more that I want to do. We'll stand up for it just because it's a little bit easier. One going across, getting a nice stretch in this back shoulder. I like to lock my elbow and then sweep it up instead of just bring it over. When I bring it over, the shoulder doesn't sit in the shoulder girdle as nicely as scooping it down and up. So I want you to feel that, okay? I want you to feel the scoop down and up right here, and then let it go, and I want you to have your arm come out. You feel how like that armpit is more exposed. Your arm is actually twisting out like this instead. So this is a much better position for you to scoop it. I like to push that elbow into my chest with the other hand. And I like to make sure that, make sure that your chest is upright and not bent over, okay? So nice strong chest. When you breathe out, increase the stretch. When you breathe in, let it out just a little bit. And you'll actually be able to get more and more and more out of your stretch with that method. All right, switch. You guys feel that back here? That's good, like loosened up, huh? All right, scoop and pull. Now we're gonna, and breathe. This one's tight. I can feel it. Awesome, guys. Increase the stretch as you breathe out. Open that chest. All right, slowly come out of it, shake it out. Last one. We're just gonna cup our hands behind our back as if we were gonna, hoist somebody up. Hey! Okay, so cup your hands behind your back, pull your palms together. So sew that hand up. And here's bad posture, good posture. So I want you to open that chest, pull back your shoulders, and we're gonna hinge at the hips until you're fine, like wherever you are able to go. And then I'm gonna pull my arm up and really push that fist towards the sky and keep moving. It's okay if your back bends, just get that full stretch. You should feel this, it should feel pretty darn good. Also your hamstrings if you're doing it to full range of motion. Remember, come up a little bit when you breathe in, and exhale, increase the stretch. When we come up a little bit,
to breathe in, we're creating more space for the air and the oxygen. When we go into the stretch, we're emptying out our lungs to be able to create more room for the stretch. All right, so this is a slow one. I want you to bring that arms down, slowly come up, nice and strong, and then shake it out.
So for today's stretching, what I want you to do is you can use a towel, you can use a jump rope, you can use a long band. It doesn't matter, it just needs our strap. What I like to do is I use this to help stretch my legs, my hamstrings, and low back. So if you've been doing lower body, this is a perfect option for you. Or even if you have like a tight back, you know, warm up your back a little bit and then stretch it out. So you never want to stretch. I don't like to stretch cold. I like to do a little bit of a dynamic warm up, even if I'm going to just stretch, because I need to get blood to those muscles and be able to stretch them safely without ripping anything. All right, so I'm going to put this around the hook of my foot. Now with this, I'm going to actually start in a low position. I'm going to keep both of my hips on the ground, and then I'm going to pull this up. I'm not lifting it with my muscles, I'm pulling it with my arm. And what happens when you do that is there's a very different result. One is engagement, and so you're fighting that stretch. You guys know when you stretch and your muscles tighten up and you're still trying to stretch? If you release the stretch a little bit and actively relax your muscles and then slowly climb back into it, you'll get a bigger stretch. You guys see that distance? All right, so you'll feel this all the way down that leg. Now, if you feel your muscles starting to tighten up again, just release it. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, pull with your arms. Don't lift with your leg on this. And that's really like a big key here. Now, I like to stay in this stretch for about 30 to 45 seconds, trying, really going slow and increasing the stretch throughout that process. And see, you can see my leg kind of twitching a little bit. It means I'm too far. I need to relax, release it, relax my legs, and then pull. And now it's better. It stopped working. All right, so when you come out of this, slowly bring your leg down. Don't just drop it. And then other side, again, starting on the low bottom. I like to start and use the full range of the motion. That way I'm not missing anything that my body wants to respond to, and I can start reading what I need to do. So this leg is much tighter. Do you see how far I got compared to the other? But if I'm 90 degrees with my foot in the air, then I'm gonna slowly pull, and then I'm gonna relax. Take a deep breath in, and as I exhale, I'm gonna keep pulling, not lifting with my leg. I'm gonna let it sit there for a minute so I can keep my legs relaxed. If I go too fast, too far, then your muscles will lock up, but also you can rip something, you can, pull something. So I'm gonna try and go a little bit further. You can do this with a partner too. So you guys see the difference? Now I'm not at 90 degrees. I'm a little bit past 90 degrees. And it's because I'm just taking my time. I'm respecting the stretch. Because I know, people are going crazy about the hard workouts that they do, and then they can't touch their toes. Stretching's hard, man. All right, I'm gonna do one more pull. All right, look at that increase. That's great. So if you're just doing this even 2 times a week, you're gonna get better flexibility. You're gonna get better mobility. All right, so now slowly release that. Yeah, and you should actually feel that kind of work on your low back too. Now the same thing that I'm gonna do something similar where I'm gonna sweep it across. I'm gonna sit down. Now you can sweep out or in. Right now, I'm gonna sweep in. I'm gonna have the opposite, the same leg that's going across. I'm gonna have the same arm out to plant down. I'm gonna bring this all the way across. Now, I can go to my side of the hip. That is okay. What I wanna make sure happens is this shoulder of the same side as the leg stays on the ground. So the shoulder should stay on the ground. The hip can come up. And then now, if you'll notice, if you can't get your shoulder on the ground, lessen the stretch and you'll be able to. So find that sweet spot where you can keep your shoulders down and pull this up. Now, same thing here is that this gets intense fast, okay? So, respect the stretch. I like to sit in it just for a little bit, just to let my body chill out and know that I'm not here to hurt it, I'm here to love it. And I'm gonna listen to what it's telling me. And if you relax and inhale, exhale and pull, and it doesn't want to go any further, like right now, I can feel that my body doesn't want to go any further than this. And so I'm like, okay, this is my stretch for today. This is where I am, and that is perfect. I'm gonna slowly release that. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and swing all the way over. I like to swing because it feels that it keeps my hip in a better position than if I just open it up. So feel that. Just bring your leg up and then bring it directly out. And then bring your leg down and swing it out. You'll feel the difference. Like the hip placement is so much better for this, and you feel that stretch, and it doesn't feel like you're kind of getting frog-legged apart. So with this one, I like to just hover for a minute. It gets that good inside stretch. Everything else should be on the ground. If you're not able to hover that floor, then lessen the range of motion, and then come back into it. All right. I usually stay 30 to 45 seconds in this position. I'm gonna slowly release it, and then I'm gonna switch legs. Now remember, we haven't swooped over, so you guys will see so same leg. If it's your right leg, your right arm goes down, that right shoulder is gonna stay on the ground. And then swoop it, don't bring it up and over. I want to see that hover across, and then have your hips on the ground. This one feels so good on that hamstring and those glutes. And I like this one too because it really does, it twists your spine so you're getting a nice stretch in that spine as well. And it really does help increase your flexibility and mobility, not just in your legs, but also your turning radius. Turning radius, is that a thing? Maybe. It is now. Your turning radius is going to improve. All right, guys. Pull it in a little bit more. This one's a little bit more forgiving than the other side, because the other side was my broke side. All right, nice and slow. Do not rush out of this. And then we're gonna, again, toe up, scoop, and bring it all the way up. I gotta redo it. There we go. And like during this time, especially if you get into a routine, you know, I used to do the same warm up and the same cool down every day because it was my like moving meditation. Like that let me know that I was going to do some work. It was very familiar to my body. I was able to like be mindful of it, but not have to be focused on learning a new technique, learning something new. So I definitely suggest finding your warm-up ritual or cool-down ritual. Good job, guys. And slowly come out of that. All right. Now, another one that I like to do is the hurdle stretch. If having your leg behind you is too much for that knee, then bring it here. And then I want you to sit nice and tall like we're at a tea party. I'm gonna lift everything up and hinge. And wherever you hinge to, whether it's your knee, your toe, your thigh, or just here, it's cool. So, but I want you to now think about this, what we were talking about before. If you feel that leg locking up, come out of that stretch a little bit, relax it, breathe out, and make that stretch deeper. That's the routine that I want you to do in every stretch, when you're just not like, you're not just trying to crank into it, you're actually working into it, you're folding yourself into it really gently, and so you're actually you're gonna get a bigger stretch than if you were just to force a little bit more. Now you can see that like I actually, in this time, I was able to increase my stretch dramatically. I feel my leg tightening up, so I'm gonna come out of it just a little bit. Relax it and exhale. And you can see how much I actually was able to improve my stretch just by taking my time. All right, slowly walk your hands back. Put your hands behind you. Now this one's a little bit, it doesn't look cool, but it feels good. I want you to push that hip out. I want you to push that hip out. You should feel that nice stretch in those hip flexors, right? Just, if you're pushing it straight up, push it out like it's gonna go across your leg, across your body. And again, relax everything else, but just push it out. Look at my little leg twerking. All right, nice and slow, coming down. Now to get out of this, I don't try and pull this leg out, I just turn. Oh, and there's another way to do it where you're like, did you guys like that? Okay, sorry. All right, so same thing with this. Let's get into position, nice and strong. Big breath in and exhale, coming down. Things are popping on me. All right, so keep that chest parallel to the ground. Try not to let it turn out, because if you go ahead and turn it out, you'll feel that you're not actually getting as good of a stretch. So I like to keep that chest straight, aligned, and then hinge, because it's just easier to get in that position. You guys will notice that I like to start or do the whole movement from start to finish in the proper route, the proper routine, because I'm missing a lot of little good things if I skip it. Now, remember, inhale, come out of it, exhale, deeper. Now you can see if you can get to the same position as you were on the other leg. This is a really good indicator about balance and, like where you have a little bit less, okay, I need to relax my leg. Where you are in like the balance of strength and flexibility in your body. It's pretty amazing what you can learn about your body just through stretching. All right, nice and slow, walk your hands up, and then we're gonna sit back, and you should feel that tension in the hip already because we did a lot of work, and then push it out, and really drive that hip out as hard as you can, and then lean back into it. Yeah. I'm twerking again. I like to come back down, and again, that second stretch should be not as intense. I hope it's improving. And like honestly, if you're doing a stretch and your body's like, shoot man, this hurts, that is a clear indicator that you need to continue to do that stretch on a regular basis, okay? So relax, come out of that. Beautiful. So if it was really, really challenging for you or almost painful, back off on that stretch a little bit so you can, it's the same thing. We don't want to jump into it and break ourselves, but also that is definitely a stretch that you need to be doing more of, all right? So thank you guys. Bye.